Well, the NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and the Sixers did nothing. Yeah, no, they didn't do anything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They traded Eric Gordon for a second round pick. Who doesn't love those? I do crack up at the deadline when the NBA insiders will really hype up how many second round picks a team has. Like, I think Bobby Marks tweeted out, I forget who it is, but some team has like 37 second round picks. And it's like, cool. They're undrafted free agents. Like, they're Euro stashes, they're lottery tickets. It's the equivalent of getting 37 seventh round draft picks. Actually, no, it's not, because the seventh round draft pick in the NFL is a guaranteed contract. The Sixers didn't do anything, is the point. And I really thought that they were going to. I really thought that when push came to shove, Daryl Morey would improve this roster in some kind of way. And not just trade guys out, but bring something back. And in fact, he didn't do that at all. And it's pretty concerning, because when I look at the Sixers, I look at a bench that is brutal, that has Quentin Grimes as a scorer, and other than that, not a whole lot. They have a couple nice pieces that maybe can develop, and I've talked about Justin Edwards and his development under Nick Nurse and how, I think he could be a player, but is he there yet? Probably not. Could he step in for a Paul George? Probably not. And the one thing that I had an issue with is the first move of Jared McCain was made. And if you saw my video for that, my breakdown, I'll put it up there. One of the things that I brought up was like, look, this is a precursor. This is a precursor to something bigger. He's planning something bigger. They're not going to actually use that Rockets first round draft pick. They'll end up trading it. They'll end up using it in some way to actually get a legitimate piece. And they didn't. So you trade Jared McCain, and one of the reasons why you trade Jared McCain is so that you can convert Derek Barlow from a two-way to, an NBA contract. Okay, fine. Like, hey, Derek Barlow's deserved that. Like, he really has. He's worked hard enough, and he's earned a full contract. He shouldn't be a two-way anymore. Okay, fine. But you still need to improve your team. Now, when you look at the NBA trade deadline, there wasn't a whole lot of shock and awe this year. And I feel like for the most part, that usually is the case. There might be like one kind of big trade, but for the most part, it's a bunch of guys where you're like, we're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Like a trade between Charlotte and Phoenix. Like what is the point of you two even doing that? I think Milwaukee made some trade where it was like, we're trading two of our shitty guys for two of your shitty guys. Everybody is on an expiring contract. What's the point? So I really thought the Sixers would go out there and address the lack of rebounding, the fact that Paul George is going to be absent for the next 22 games at this point, 21, 22, and the bench. And they didn't do any of that. And I don't think it's for lack of trying. I mean, Daryl Morey is constantly trying, constantly looking to improve his team. It's worth mentioning that Giannis didn't get traded. Okay, fine, but I thought that was a pipe dream anyway. But the big concern for me is now you're looking ahead to the veteran buyout market, which has already started. You're already seeing some people get bought out. I think Cam Thomas got bought out by Brooklyn, or just flat out released so that he can find a new team. But my big issue is the Sixers have never had luck in the veteran buyout market. So for the Sixers, if they are banking on bringing in some vets from the veteran buyout market, I think that's wishful thinking. The thing that will help the Sixers, though, with the veteran buyout market is veteran buyouts are looking for two things. The first is they want to start. They want to start so that next year they get a legitimate contract. So if there's a starting spot available, they usually will take that over pretty much anything else, and if it's a good situation for them. And the Sixers have that available with the loss of Paul George. Now, whoever it is would know that when Paul George comes back, they bounce to the bench, but if they can show and shine for, let's say, 17, 18 games, probably could open up some eyes, and they probably could get, a 2-year deal from somebody. Okay, so that actually helps the Sixers. But veteran buyouts probably aren't coming here to just be bench pieces. So the next thing that you look at when you're a veteran buyout is, okay, if I can't start, where am I going to win? What place is the best option for me to win a championship? Because if I'm a vet, chances are my time in the sun is coming to an end, and I'd like to win another championship. So you look around the NBA and you go, okay, it's not even just about playing time. It's literally about a winning situation. And are the Sixers a desirable enough place for veterans to go, I think that they could win a championship. You got to remember the last time that the Sixers really, really tapped into the veteran buyout market, God, it might have been like 2017, 2018 when they got Marco Bellinelli and Ersan Ilyasova. And both of those guys played a key part coming off of their bench and in the rotation. They were great for the Sixers. But they came to the Sixers because at that point, the Sixers were the young upstart team. They were probably top 3 in the East. Like, you made a legitimate argument that the Sixers were the best team in the East. You could see them coming out of the East. Of course, they didn't. But if you're a veteran, like, that was a very desirable location. That was, I think, the Jimmy Butler. Yeah, it was. It was the Jimmy Butler year when they lost on the bounce, the Kawhi bounce. And obviously, Toronto goes on and wins the championship. I don't think the Sixers are a desirable enough place for veterans to go, I think I can win a championship there. So it's incumbent on Daryl Morey to really hype up the starting spot that is available with Paul George's absence. And even then, I don't think that this is a place where they're going to have a ton of success with the veteran buyouts. I think that they could have some success in the terms of, like, they'll bring in a guy who's a name recognition, but it's not a situation where you go like, holy shit, that's a difference maker. Like, that's a guy we can plug in. And even if Paul George, came back, like, you could make a kit. No. I think this is going to be okay, cool. It kind of reminds me of the year where the Sixers were, I think it was Brett Brown's last year. The Sixers were like a fringe team. They were kind of lost, but they felt like they had to make some kind of move at the deadline, and they went out and they got Gary. It wasn't Gary. What's it? Gary Payton Jr. It was Glenn Rice Jr. and Alec Burks. And it was like, okay, scoring off the bench, cool, fine. By the way, it took them like 45 days to actually get to Philly, which was annoying. But it was like they made a move, they made a little bit of an attempt, didn't end up panning out. For the Sixers at this deadline, this is a complete dud. Because you ushered out 2 guys, you didn't improve your roster. Eric Gordon, trading him and getting anything for him at this point in his career when he was literally a DNP basically every game, I am all for that. But when you trade Jared McCain with the idea that we will use that pick to improve our team at the deadline, and that doesn't happen, and now you're in a situation where you're looking at the offseason to improve your team, but nobody wants to think about the offseason, that's a failure. So as a Sixers fan, pretty annoyed right now. What do you guys think out there? Let me know in the comment section below. As for the comment section, I will probably only respond to channel members. So if you want to support the channel, become a channel member. I will prioritize those. Arguing about sports can be exhausting at times, But if you're supporting the channel, I will be more than happy to argue and deal with the LOL clowns. Subscribing is cool. You can subscribe, hit thumbs up, hit thumbs down if you think this video sucks. You guys know what to do at this point. But yeah, I was not pleased with what happened. But at the end of the day, it is and always will be, go Sixers.